Hi everybody, grazie miteinander. I'm Riccardo. I will speak as a mix of Italian and English, mostly English with some puns. And I'm so glad to be here with you today. And we are starting 1 minute early, so Swiss time. This is Rubycon. Welcome to Rubycon. How excited are you to be here? Woo! So glad to be here. So glad to be here. So, couple of words about me. This is not about me. Actually, it is, but only for the first 5 minutes, and then you will forget about this. I'm Riccardo. I work in Zurich for Google, and I love maths, SREs, piano, triathlons, caipirinhas, and Amarone di Valpolicella, which is why Ruby Day I was actually getting to do two of my favorite things a few years ago, which is part of the story. But enough about me. You guys are probably wondering, Riccardo, we have so many conferences already. Why do we need yet another conference? Why do we need it in Italy? I mean, this little country of only 60 million people, right? And isn't there already an event in Italy called Python Day? Oh, no, sorry, Ruby Day, right? So why do we need to do this? So I want to tell you a story, and I promise you, I chronometered it not more than 5 minutes of your time about this. It all started in Dublin. In 2008, I moved to Dublin looking for a, better job, better options, etc. And I met a person called Fabio. Now, I am very honored, you see I have goosebumps, I am very honored to have Fabio here, all the way from Pescara. Fabio, would you like to stand up for a second? Ciao Fabio! Welcome to Rubycon. Not everybody knows Fabio was my husband for 5 years. We were living together. I was cheating on him with my Brazilian girlfriend, but actually was quite faithful most of the time. And Fabio, the day after I came, he said, well, Riccardo, you're in Dublin now, you're a developer, you have a good salary, you have a Mac. I say, Mac? No, I don't have a computer, but yeah, you're right, I can afford one. And then he said, oh, you should totally get a Mac. And then I got a Mac. And then he said, and then second thing, you need to try this thing. It's called Ruby. The hell is Ruby? Oh, it's a language. Another language. Why should I learn another language? I already know Bash and Perl. Do I need anything more? And then he said, well, actually, it's super hipster. Like hipster people do Ruby. I'm like, okay. I don't even know what hipster means, but it looks cool. So let me learn Ruby. How do I install it? You don't need to. It comes on the shell. It comes on iTerm. What is iTerm? It's some terminal of the Mac. And then you have this thing called TextMate, where you can just do TextMate dot, and it opens your folder, and with Rails new Riccardo Prova 1, 2, 3, you get a new website in seconds. So after a few weeks, I had a Mac, I have TextMate, I was playing around with Ruby, creating migrations like it rains, and I fell in love with this guy called Ryan Bates. Do you remember Ryan Bates? Who remember Ryan Bates? He was my hero. I think he posted every week on a Wednesday. And on a Wednesday, I would come back from work and look for the next thing. And I would spend the next 2 days coding whatever he did in these Rails casts. I was in love. I was hooked. 1 year after, I became a Ruby on Rails developer at HEANet, which does completely other job. It's è come il GAR or switch.ch is the university and governmental company. But we also had some internal stuff that we did in Ruby, and I was very happy there. Probably the best time of my life as a worker. And there are people in this room who maintain gems like Cancan, Rubocop, Ruby LLM, Herb, these little gems and packages nobody has ever heard about. Whereas probably everybody knows pasta or storazzo, which is actually an Italian pun, only Italian will get this. Septober. I'm joking. It's all stupid stuff nobody knows about, nobody cares about, and trust me, I'm a terrible developer. You will never care about. 3 years later, I moved to Zurich. I started doing a lot of sport. I lose weight. And my company doesn't really do a lot of Ruby. So I need to kind of find a way to make Ruby part of my job, which I've been doing for the last 12 years, kind of snarkily, like squeezing it in. Like, can I do this in Ruby? No, you need to do it in Python. What about I do a multi-language agent where 2 different languages speak to each other? Okay, that's fine. Can I do the second in Ruby? Yes, you can. Bingo. That's how I do my job. So a pause you don't care about, got married and blah, blah, blah. You don't care about it. In 2024, something magical happens. I get invited to Ruby Day. And I bring a talk on LangChain RB from my friend Andrei Bondarev. LangChain RB, as everybody knows, is the best gem to do LLMs, isn't it? Isn't it? Well, it was in 2024 until, but we will know more about it later, right? Carmine. And on embeddings, Ruby embeddings, another talk today is on embeddings and PG-SQL. Anyway, that night, I get to meet a number of people. Some of them are here today, right? And that's where I met Emiliano, I met Alessia, which are part of the organizing committee of Rubycon. And then we were very happy. I had one of the best dinners of my life, plenty of Amarone, di Valpolicella. And the year after, I was looking for Ruby, but there's no Ruby Day. I contact Grusp, say, oh, Giulia, when is the Ruby Day this year? And Giulia says, oh, we're not doing it anymore, moving on with other languages and other things. We're not. And then I talked to Emiliano, who is kind of leading a Ruby group in Modena. And I said, that's sad. We should do something about it. So we meet in Lido degli Estensi, and I was reading, most of history has been done with alcohol. So we drink a couple of beers. And Modena meets Frara, as we say. We also have a sponsor from Frara. So Modena meets Frara, and we have a couple of beers. We say about our sadness, and we decide that we can do that. Like in Frankenstein Jr., si può fare. We decide we can do it. And that was the beginning of August of last year. And 7-8 months later, we are here. You have no idea how proud I am to be here with all of you and to have kind of filled the room. So thank you about this. The rest is history. We chose a couple of words. Why we chose, what format did we choose? Single track. We chose Rimini. Rimini because if you're from Italy, you've probably been to Rimini, but if you're from abroad, you've probably done Florence, Rome, Venice, Milan, maybe Bologna, which is the capital city of this region. But Rimini wouldn't be your first choice or second, right? So we thought like, you get to see a new city and tomorrow you get to learn about this city, right? And I like to think of Rimini as the Copacabana of Europe, but Copacabana is better. And it got very famous in the 70s because of Rose Island. And they started printing Ruby passports. And the Italian Navy, no, actually, they were normal passports. The Italian Navy didn't take it very well. We also chose Rimini because it has history, like most cities, even my little town has history. So we have a lot of beautiful things to show you tomorrow, hopefully. But again, I know you say, Riccardo, enough with this bullshit. We don't care about your story. Why are you doing another Ruby conference? Do we really need another one? So, number one, justification. Mats asked me at Euruco 2 years ago in Sarajevo, and he says, Italy is beautiful. Do a conference in Italy, and I come with my family. I say, challenge accepted. I'm going to do an event, and I put it on a Friday. That's why it's on a Friday. I did it for Mats. So you can take the weekend with the family. Then he didn't come, but we're still waiting. I will still love, not very minus one of him, but anyway. Ruby Day was surprised, you know that. We believe we have a Ruby community. Italiani, qual è il vostro mestiere? No, okay. It didn't work. I was expecting the Spartans, but didn't work. Okay. We had a few ideas to make it unique. Alessandro and I were really thinking we want strong content. We want the content to be, we don't want people to feel we are just squeezing people in because we have a sponsor that pays for it, okay? And so we don't want sponsor slots. Now, incidentally, some sponsors are speaking today, but that's kind of a coincidence, and you will not hold me accountable for it, or maybe you will. But trust me, we chose just based on the title and the abstract, not based on who did what. There will be a party tonight. I will tell you more about this afternoon. You just need to know for now that we have passports, and you need to know that if you want to say something for 5 minutes, we have a whiteboard there, and in that whiteboard you need to put the title, maybe a little bit of abstract, I don't know, and your name. Is important, the name. We hope you will like the food. Tonight we have a great fish dinner, and at lunch we have a good lunch. We invested quite some money on the food, so I hope you're going to enjoy that. And if you didn't try yet, you need to try Piadina. This is the land of Piadina. And this is the agenda of the day. Today we have Carmine, Giulia, Silvano, and Andrea in the morning. Akira, Marco, Yara, Michele, Akira, Marco, and Yara in the afternoon. And then we have a little, let's see if this works, a little lightning talk around just after lunch, okay? Tonight, we are going to Bagno 46, which is 700 meters from here. I tell you now, because if you want to bring your wife, your husband, your friend, your plus one, somebody who is not here with us today, they can get a ticket, which is basically the price of the dinner. Okay, otherwise we couldn't fit. If everybody brings a plus one, we don't fit in the place because the place had maximum 140 people. So we thought with this trick, we're going to make it space for everyone to enjoy it. That's it.